So if you're like me and you've experienced the greatness of Left 4 Dead 1 and Left 4 Dead 2, and you're somebody who has a Nintendo Switch, and you happen to see this game called Earthfall, this is actually it's kind of like a spiritual successor to the Left 4 Dead formula, to where it's going to have 4 different survivors. You're going to track through different areas, going through a different campaign, doing various different things, and for that, the game is honestly set up exactly like Left 4 Dead 2. So if you're someone who's been on the fence about this game, or if you're wondering if it has enough content to hold you over for the full $20, stick around this review and let's go ahead and jump right into it.
You know how much I love that Nintendo Switch!
What's going on, Switch fam? It is your boy QKG, and today we're going to be talking about Earthfall for Nintendo Switch. And I'm someone who actually played Earthfall in early access on PC, so for me, coming to the Switch version, I already knew there was going to be downgrades. I knew this game was not going to run perfect in itself, but for the most part, Earthfall is going to have the Left 4 Dead formula, where it's going to follow the 4 survivors. Either you can play the campaigns to where they're going to have 2 different chapters that have 5 different campaigns within them, and then there's a final chapter at the very end, which I have not tried, but I know that's supposed to be hectic. But other than that, the game is also going to feature a invasion mode, which is more of a wave-based format. So if you're someone who likes the more Call of Duty zombies or type of like tower defense type of mentality, for that, it's going to have you holding down a certain position and just fighting off waves of enemies until you get to the last waves. So one spot where this game shines is actually the gunplay. The gunplay for Earthfall, not only does it have a more realistic feel when it comes down to the recoil pattern, but the guns have kick to them. So the guns, especially if you're using like some of the SMGs, the recoil patterns can be really unpredictable sometimes, but then when you get to using the M4, you start to notice a little bit more predictability, and then the AK, of course, just kind of gets crazy. But all in all, the weapons, it's not a gigantic selection, but each of the weapons are extremely unique. So for that, I do appreciate the fact that they made each individual weapon completely different. Shooting the shotgun is just so satisfying in this game. Just to peel the alien's muffin cap back blue just feels so great. But all in all, the guns and the gunplay in the game just feel like they hit the nail right on the head. So the performance of the game, I have heard mixed feelings way before I even purchased the game. Some people saying that the game just is flat out awful, it runs horrible and blah blah blah. The game runs absolutely fine on Nintendo Switch. If you're someone who's expecting 60 FPS every single time, I'm sorry, you may need to do your research on the Tegra X1, especially the model that's in the Nintendo Switch, because it's supposedly a modded chip. And there are times whenever there's a big horde and there's a lot of shit going on and explosions, there are times it hits frame dips. That's 100% understandable. That does not affect me whatsoever. It doesn't get anywhere as near as unplayable as WWE 2K18 or anything of that nature. It's just standard frame dips. All in all, the game is going to run at a solid 30 FPS, and the textures, when it comes down to the details of the weapon, they're very detailed, but I have noticed whenever you load in, there's a little bit of texture pop-ups, so sometimes it may look like a little muddy grain on the weapon, and then it starts to kind of form and actually get its detail. If you're someone who wants 60 FPS and everything, I'm sorry, unless it is built from the ground up on the Nintendo Switch and it is designed to run at 60 FPS. If that's your goal from the ground up, that's literally the only way you're gonna get it, unless the actual engine for the game is super flexible, and if it doesn't take like a lot of things to run the game, then porting it over is a little bit easier and you can get those 60 FPS things, kind of how Paladins has 60 FPS, because it does not take much to run the game at all. But all in all, the game runs very good on Nintendo Switch. I've not even crashed on this shit, not one time. I've run into maybe 1 or 2 glitches here and there, but when you play for a solid week and you play heavy on the game, you're bound to run into at least some type of glitch, bug, crash, or anything. I have not crashed once, and I've only ran into 2 bugs so far. So all in all, it's been a smooth experience with the way this game has been ported. I'll be honest, even though this is hitting me all in my Left 4 Dead feels right now, it does not hit the same. I don't know if it's just the way the aliens look in the game. This has just been my issue ever since I played the game on PC, is that the aliens don't look terrifying to me. They don't look scary. Now, the sapper in the game, this big ball of green goop that explodes and leaves a poison gas, that thing is cool. I think that thought was unique. The beast in the game, which is like the tank, bruh, whenever they get up and whenever they pop up, they straight debo everything. So for that, some of the aliens look cool. The Thresher, that actually looks kind of like a basic alien, except it's a little bit black. So when it comes down to the design of most of the aliens, they're kind of alright. And then when you get to some of the beasts, the sapper, you know, the thresher, you know, those kind of aliens, like the special aliens, kind of like the hunter, the witch, the tank, and all that stuff in Left 4 Dead, they look a little bit more menacing. So just the base aliens just don't, I don't know, just didn't have that same horror feel to me that Left 4 Dead had, even though it had a horror feel, but it still had that fun factor of just mowing down hordes of zombies. So if you're new to the channel, whenever I review a game, I don't go by numbers, I don't do the scale, I actually go by just phrases. So we start off at the bottom of a what happened if the game is just absolute buns, then we move up to a man, like I just didn't like the game, a needs work, a decent, and then a Flago boy if the game is absolutely fire. So for this game, I would say this game is decent, mainly just because of the fact that the gunplay is amazing in the game, and it's a $20 game. I do not feel like I paid too much for the game. I don't feel like I paid too less for it, and when it comes down to the content, it's a nice little hefty package for 20 bucks. You get the 2 campaigns that have 5 different chapters within, so that's 10, and then you get the last little special campaign, so you have 11 total, and then you can literally play the invasion mode if you want to tackle the game and not do the campaign. And even when you do the campaign, you have a different experience each time. The way the aliens maneuver and the way they play, they're not scripted. They're all procedurally generated, so they're not going to do the same thing each and every single time. So all in all, this game was definitely a decent pickup, and if you have been on the fence about this game, which I know a couple of you have, definitely make sure you stop over at the eShop and make sure you pick it up. It's pretty cheap. It's 20 bucks, nothing to lose. You'll definitely have a great time with this game. So I would love to thank you guys for tuning in to this review, and as always, make sure you leave your comments down below if there's any other games you want me to review next on the channel or even Let's Play as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is your boy QKG, and peace out.